And I want to share a quick video with you on the new reports on Restaurant 365 to make sure that when you are reading them, you feel confident to understand the things that you are looking at. Let's start with the daily roster report. There are two views that you can have here for your roster report. Public, which does not show as many details and that is more applicable to facing to our hourly staff. And we have a manager. This one is going to show more details, in times, out times, phone numbers, how many hours they work, and also show overtime warnings as well. So you select one of these depending on which one you want to run. If you need to change the date, pressing customize gives you a few other options here. You can change the date right here. Let's go ahead and run that report. Looking at our public view, you can see we have shift start time and how many hours they are scheduled for that day. Your projected sales are up here, and how much labor you have scheduled for the day showcases as well. Everyone's goals are starting at 20% per usual, so you'll be able to see that here. And you also can see last year's sales as well. This is broken down by job code and reads in a nice AM PM format. If you were to look at the manager view, you will see a few more details. Your sales and everything continue up here per normal, but you now have out times showing, and any overtime concerns will also showcase here. How many hours they're scheduled for the entire week, and everybody's phone numbers. These are the responsibilities. It reads very similar to a hot schedules roster. Next, we are going to look at the report sales versus labor. This is a breakdown that's going to show you your exact labor percentage for yesterday, week to date, and extremely beneficial, your period to date as well. This is where you are going to pull your labor number reports for your morning coffee. Now, the labor versus actual versus scheduled report, this is kind of a breakdown of our labor percentage report that we were reading on hot schedules, where you can see each job code, how many hours that they worked versus how many hours they were scheduled. This is where we're going to review those punches and check out those variances for overs and unders. This is also where you see exactly what your dollar spends were, along with your over and unders. This report is strictly reviewing scheduled versus actual labor. This does not give you a total labor percentage on this report. From here, you can see that our scheduling yesterday at Donkey was pretty even across the board. This also will help you with projections and schedule writing in the future. If you have a person that you're continuously cutting all the time, you'll be able to review these discrepancies here. We will use this report on the regular to attach to your morning coffee. If you notice a major discrepancy in this report, that is when you are going to want to run the labor actual versus scheduled detailed report. This detailed report is going to give you a breakdown of all of the punches for that day, which shows you exactly how many hours they worked, broken down by job code again. For example, you can see here that Aiden has no hours actually worked, but he was scheduled 6.75 hours. Lady has 7.72 hours worked, but she was not scheduled any hours. Notice the discrepancies here. Reading the notes, we understand that Aiden called off and Lady covered that shift. That is why there's a discrepancy here. But these are the details that would help us understand if somebody was not clocked in correctly, did not clock out at all, or if we had an extreme overages for whatever reason, we can see the details in this report, and you can find those errors, and you can also find your variances in your scheduling, positive or negative. Prep cook, we only spent 19.7 hours, but we scheduled 21.5. So we know we cut 1.8 hours off of prep cooks alone that day. One other thing on this report is this is where you can see your total labor percentage broken down by job code. So if you wanted to have an understanding of exactly how much percentage of labor went to prep cooks for that day, that is where you will find this here, with your total labor percent at the very bottom here. I hope this helped answer any questions for you. Please reach out if you need anything or need any more understanding for these reports.